The link to the compliance manual. Did Marlene get the link?
I just sent it to her just now.
Let me check on
Yeah, everything else, on first.
Wait, hold on.
Right. Right. I need code.
We're calling meeting order at 6:05 PM. We have a roll call, please.
Manal. Hunt.
Yes.
Slater. Fox, yeah.
Okay. At this time, we'll have the approval of the minutes. Be it resolved that the minutes for the January 2nd, 2023 special board meeting be approved and placed on file. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Ms. Tommy moving second that we approve the minutes as submitted. Roll call, please.
Dr. Hunt,
Yes.
Fox, yes. Slater,
Yes.
Manette,
Yes.
Thank you. Now approval of the agenda. Be it resolved that the Muskegon Heights Public School Academy System approve the attached agenda. May I have a motion, please?
I so moved.
Okay, it's been probably moved second that we approve the agenda. Roll call, please.
Dr. Hunt,
Yes.
Manette, Slater,
Yes.
Fox, yes.
Okay, so probably moved that we will now accept the agenda. At this time, we're going to have yours truly give the State of the Academy address. This may be the first, but here we go. Good evening, and thank you for being here this evening. I wanted to talk to everyone in regards to some of the things that have been occurring in our district, occurring with the academy and with our students. So I'm just calling this the state of the Muskegon Heights Public School Academy System. The historic fiber and foundation of Muskegon Heights is that of richness, greatness, and pride, tiger pride. Muskegon Heights community DNA is powerful. The foundation of who we are and what we are began with a young lad by the name of Charles Henry Hackley, who found his way to Muskegon at the age of 19 and worked shoveling sawdust into a boiler in a lumber yard in Dusky Truesdale Company. But he did not continue shoveling sawdust. He set his goals higher. While shoveling, he learned office procedures and the basics of lumber business, and the rest of that is history. Mr. Hackley stated, and I quote, "I believe that a true community spirit can never die, but lives forever in the works which that spirit has produced," end of quote. So here we are in Muskegon Heights, and as we look over the city and look over what we've done, we've come a long way. Established in 1921, Muskegon Heights High School was for decades one of the major high schools in Muskegon area. Muskegon High Schools have experienced both academic and athletic excellence. James Burton, a 1978 graduate from Muskegon Heights High School, said, and I quote, "It is all one. The city and the school district is all one. It's Muskegon Heights, period," end of quote. Mr. Burton also stated that he remembers how the entire community would show up and cheer the Mighty Tigers on to victory. And they were state champs in 1974, 1978, and 1979. Due to changes in the economy and the political structure, and having experienced the effects of COVID pandemic, we have many challenges and threats. One looming challenge is the threat undermining the education of our students, our future, their future. So what are we going to do? What are you going to do? What can we do to eliminate these looming threats and current plagues that our students are confronted with daily? I suggest, and believe me, this is just a recommendation. I'm not standing here trying to tell you what to do or encourage you to do anything, but what I am doing is I'm appealing that each of us consider doing whatever we can to bring back that heritage that we still have in place. We need to do that for our children, for our community, and for ourselves. How can we do that? Well, I think that we should start with integrity, resilience, cooperation, stewardship, and of course, Tiger Pride, which is the foundation of all we do and should be the foundation of our decisions and our actions. Let integrity, resilience, cooperation, stewardship, and pride be the foundation by which we work together to return to levels of interaction that strengthen us, strengthens our students, our families, and our community. Tiger Pride still exists. As the great poet Maya Angelou stated in one of her writings, "You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatred, but still I rise, I rise. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I arise into a daybreak that's wonderfully clear. I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I rise, I rise, I rise." We have faced and made it through the industrial age, the post-war age, and now we face and are living in the information age, where things are being seen through the lens of an international perspective. However, through it all, Muskegon must find a way to stand ready to strive and thrive. How do we do that, you ask? I suggest we discuss problems. I suggest we discuss not people, but possibilities. I suggest we invest daily in our students by finding ways to individually and collectively help them solve the problems that they face. I suggest we find ways, positive ways, to return our students and the city of Muskegon Heights to the brilliance and excellence which was once our daily reality. Beginning immediately, I and your board will be requesting your assistance in rebuilding the manner in which educational opportunities are provided to all the students of Muskegon Heights. We have been researching, really researching, asking questions, looking at successful programs of other charter schools and public schools, one of which caught our attention. We were especially impressed by aspects of this particular school's strategic planning and hope to incorporate some of their strategies into the academy, which are the following. Dramatically improve the academic experience of all students to ensure they are college and career ready. Transform our culture so that students, family, community members, and staff feel safe, respected, and connected. Champion a whole child approach that unlocks students' full potential. Build an excellent team of dedicated staff to serve our students. Manage and deploy our resources responsibly, transparently, and equitably to support our students' success. This information was gleaned from or taken from the Detroit Public Schools 2020 blueprint. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stated, and I quote, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that," end of quote. Will each of you consider joining the Academy Board in finding those paths that lead to light for our students? We choose to take the high road of integrity, resilience, cooperation, stewardship, and of course, Tiger Pride. Our board have also gone through challenges. Ms. Kitchen Slade, would you stand? This woman, I've just met her for a short time, but she has and she's committed to doing whatever is possible for our students to help us get back and regain that stature, that integrity that we all know that we're a part of, that used to be our reality, it still can be our reality. Thank you. Mr. Fox, please stand. Mr. Fox is known as our champion in the community. He has fought, We have butt heads, we have looked at each other, we have argued a little bit, but we still stand, and we stand together in solidarity because we know that we and this community can fight a fight of good faith for our students. Thank you. Mrs. Minot, please stand. Mrs. Minot is the newest member of our board, but she is already hard at work because she has an academic background, she's a speech therapist, and an array of other things that I won't take time to mention. But we appreciate her because she came and rolled her sleeves up and is talking to the academic community and retired teachers, trying to find ways that can help our students. Thank you. We, as a board, are selecting our place on the high road. We're standing there in solidarity and fighting the good fight of faith for the students at Muskegon Heights. We ask each of you to choose your place on the high road. Let your light shine that our students and our community can see and receive the benefits of that light. Then it will only be a matter of time before our joint efforts with his guidance and our tenacity will return us, the Academy and our students, to its rightful place of excellence, success, and world-class status. My thanks to each of you for listening to me and for this opportunity. At this time, we'll take a 5-minute break and prepare for our public comments. Thank you. As you prepare for the comments, just a reminder that we have 3 minutes for each comment. There will be no responses and no interruptions. And our timekeeper for the comments will be our interim secretary, Ms. Slater. Thank you.
Going on what, though? What's up to?
Barking up these trees. That's all they doing. Okay, I say cut this tree.
What's the name? What's the name down there?
On the east side, was paid. Oh, I just like when high school do. All the time high school run into.
At this time, we will receive public comments. If there are no comments, we will then go to our discussion items. The first item that we're going to discuss is that we will be receiving letters of interest for the position of superintendent for the academy. Thanks to our previous vice president, Mr. Warren, he started the information around the community in regards to a superintendent in May of 22. We received 3 applications that I presented to the board for consideration. We're going to allow letters and resumes to come forward until January the 30th. At that time, we'll close that particular opportunity and then begin to interview those individuals that qualify to extend that we'd like them to. At that time, we're going to interview, we will interview those individuals. And then we will tell you about the process and hopefully be able to announce to you in the not too distant future who the new superintendent will be. Now, the superintendent will report directly to the board. He also will take over the day-to-day activities. He will supervise staff. He will do evaluations for principals and for administrators, and then have regular caucus meetings and meetings with the entire staff. He serves at the pleasure of the board, and he will be the face that you see at our meetings. He'll also be like an ambassador in the community, recruiting board members, which we desperately need. And also, if there's anyone out there that's interested in being a board member, we can quickly get you some applications so that we can fill and have a full count of our board. So that's a process that will be in place. Like I said, the applications will discontinue taking applications at the end of January. Next, we're going to have our attorney, Mr. Delaporte, speak to you or read to you a statement in regards to withdrawing of the pending lawsuit against the district board. Mr. Delaporte.
Thank you. I'd like to update I'd like to provide an update on the status of the lawsuit. The lawsuit was filed originally under a different board. Obviously, we've had some changeover. The lawsuit was filed in great part to establish the independence of this board. This board has, the district board has confirmed the independence of this board, and this board has acknowledged that it is ultimately responsible to the district board as the authorizer. The district board and the system board have had the opportunity to meet in closed session and discuss their differences through negotiations, and to come to a strong understanding in the direction that they want this district to go, and the community wants this district to go. And given that the individuals who were involved in that lawsuit are no longer on the board, and given that there were some misunderstandings that were ironed out in that meeting and are no longer an issue between the boards have aligned and again are focused on making changes, and changes are coming that will really enhance learning for the kids, that will put the kid focus back on the kids. And I know this board has been very adamant that that's where the focus needs to go. Given all that the lawsuit will be withdrawn with prejudice, assuming, of course, that the board wishes it so.
As soon, I think that we probably need a motion in that regard. So I'd like to entertain a motion for the withdrawing of the pending lawsuits against the district board. So move. Can I have a second, please? It's a probably second that we withdraw the lawsuit, and at this time we'll have a roll call.
Dr. Hunter?
Yes.
Slater?
Yes.
Manat?
Yes.
Fox? Yes.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is we will be, under the action items, we're going to be selecting a vice president and secretary. I'd like to give a little explanation here in regards to the secretarial position. For For now, I'm going to declare that office vacant for the purpose of our action items. Right now, our treasurer is serving that capacity, but we're going to have a formal motion to combine both the treasurer's position and the secretary's position. So moving forward, until we're able to have more members and to select an actual secretary, we're going to ask him to share in that responsibility. With that said, we are going to hire, and we've had one on a probationary period. Ms. Washington is a professional stenographer, and she's been taking our minutes for the last few meetings. She's worked out very well. I'm very pleased. She gets it to me the next day, stellar. And so we really appreciate you, Ms. Washington. So we're gonna move forward and see if we can hire her so that she can continue until we're able to get a secretary. And we'll be acting on that later in our action items. The next item that we're going to be acting on in our action items is the payment of overdue invoices. We have lots of them. And we now have kind of sort of the reputation that we don't really pay our bills on time. We want to eradicate that. We want to erase that. There has been some discussion before about invoices. I won't take time to go into detail about that. Just know that if you've heard that, your board is acting on that. I've already gone over the invoices. I'm going to have one other board member go over those invoices with me, and then we'll move forward in making sure that we make those payments ASAP. Also,
Madam President, if I may, the system board here was not deficient in paying its bills. There were questions about the process, and that's what's been holding it up. I have faith going forward that won't be an issue, but you know, from a purely being financially responsible, that was not the issue here.
that's nice to hear. I've heard other comments, but thank you for that, Attorney. We're also going to be in our action items, making a motion in regards to the paying of New Paradigm. Now, I know that there's been lots of talk about that, a lot of discussion about it, but the board would like to pay at least a portion of that in good faith. I have gone through invoices, I've gone through documents to know that our students are receiving service, not maybe to the level that we want them at this time, but they are. There's still problems, there's still challenges that we have to deal with that we're trying to mitigate. But I see progress in the areas of testing, scholastic improvement. So we're going to pay a portion. I repeat, a portion of those fees. And then after that, there will be discussion on how we want to complete the end of the year. But we're going to pay a portion of those that have been accumulating since July. So with that being said, we're going to end this portion of our agenda discussion items, and we're going to move into our action items. At this time, we're going to have election of officers for the two positions that I discussed earlier, that of the vice president and secretary, which is going to be combined now into treasurer secretary. Nominations are now in order for the office of vice president. Are there any nominations? Well, I nominate Ms. Kitchen Slater as our vice president. Any other nominations? If not, we're going to close on the one name. Be it resolved that the nominations of the office of vice president be closed. Can I get a motion, please? A second? Roll call.
Dr. Hunt,
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Knapp, Fox, yes.
Okay. So the board has unanimously declared as our vice president, Ms. Leslie Kitchen Slater. Congratulations. At this time, I think that we only need a motion in regards to having our treasurer serve as both treasurer and secretary.
I so move.
Second? Did you say second? Okay, Okay, it's improperly moved and seconded, that, our treasurer service go to treasurer and secretary. Roll call, please.
Dr. Hunt,
Yes,
Slater,
Yes.
Manal, Fox, yes.
thank you. The next item is hiring a recording secretary. I've already mentioned Ms. Washington has been doing a fine job with that, and so we're going to move forward. I did check with, the powers to be, and we are allowed and we do have funds for that, so we're going to move forward with it. Be it resolved that the Muskegon Heights Public School Academy System Board of Directors approve the hiring of a recording secretary until a board member is elected as secretary. May I have a motion, please?
I so move.
A second? Roll call, please.
Dr. Hunt,
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Manal,
Yes.
Fox, yes.
Thank you. The next item is, we need an additional person to sign. In a few months, I may not be able to assist in that area because I'll be traveling. So we're going to have a third person as a signer on our checks and other financial matters. So we're going to present a resolution for that. Be it resolved that the Muskegon Heights Public School Academy System Board of Directors approve the addition of another person to sign checks and transact any other financial related board matters. Be it further resolved that the board appoint the newly elected vice president as that additional signer. May I have a motion, please?
I so move.
A second? Roll call, please.
Dr. Hunt,
Yes,
Slater,
Yes.
Manal,
Yes.
Fox, yes.
very good, thank you. Our next agenda item is the hiring of a superintendent. Be it resolved that the Muskegon Heights Public School Academy System Board of Directors approve for a qualified superintendent being hired as the superintendent of Muskegon Heights Public School Academy. The superintendent will report directly to the Academy Board of Directors and will be responsible for day-to-day operations of Muskegon Heights School Academy Board and its staff and students. Now, I included in here a lot of information, and Ms. Clark said that is too much information, so I am taking it out. So she's telling the board president what to do. Not really. We do have a position description of what we want the superintendent to do, and that information will be expressed to him or her during our time of the interview. But we do have specific information that we would like for that person to handle, and we want to give them the full, all the information so that they can make a good decision whether or not they want to be the superintendent for our very special, very unique academy.
I have, just one question. So, and we did confirm that we are financially able to do this.
I checked the books.
Okay. I just want to let that be, no.
So I would need a motion for the hiring of a superintendent.
I so move.
Can I get a second? Roll call, please.
Dr. Hunt,
Yes,
Slater,
Yes.
Manal,
Yes.
Fox, yes.
thank you. Next on the agenda is payment of overdue invoices. Be it resolved that the Muskegon Heights Public School Academy System Board of Directors approve the payment of overdue invoices that have been reviewed by the treasurer and board president. May I have a motion?
I so move.
Okay, so probably the second is, roll call, please.
Dr. Hunt,
Yes,
Slater,
Yes.
Manal,
Yes.
Fox, yes.
thank you. Payment of new paradigm. Be resolved that the Muskegon Heights Public School Academy System Board of Directors approve the payment to New Paradigm for a partial payment of management services.
How much?
Now, let me clarify that by saying those services are still under scrutiny. And so the exact amount hasn't actually been determined yet. We need to have some conversations with some of the members of New Paradigm, but we are going to pay something toward that because it has been 6 months. So if service delivery continues to be delayed, then and the progress of the students has not improved, then we'll have to take a look at moving forward what we're going to do in that particular area. May I have a motion in regards to the partial payment to New Paradigm?
I so move.
Second, okay, so probably move the second. Roll call, please.
McDonough,
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Knapp,
Yes.
Fox, abstain.
Thank you, sir. At this time, we're going to have comments from the board of directors.
My comments gonna continue to be the same, coming up with solutions, which I think we've been doing. So continue to be patient as you can. The goal is to get these kids educated. That's the number one goal, only goal. So that's all I've got.
Thank you, Mr. Fox. Anyone else?
As we move forward, this is, 2023, so we're in a new year. It's time to do new things, and I am confident that we will be able to move forward successfully.
Thank you. Okay. I have a few things to say. For the last 4 weeks, I've been working on a FOIA request from Goldman and Associates in regards to a pending arbitration that includes the previous superintendent, the assistant superintendent, I believe the director of special education. And I had difficulty locating information because we don't have any board issued or school issued computers or phones. So I did my due diligence as far as trying to locate that information, and finally was able to give them a report or send to him documents that we did have available to them. So I satisfied the one FOIA request. I noticed on my PC today that we have a second request. I'm not sure, I didn't even read it, I'm not sure where it's going, but information is limited. So I'm probably gonna continue to say not available, I don't have the information. You may have to talk to people directly. So if you hear anything about us not following through on the FOIA request, we just don't have the information that they're requesting. And we'll see what the next FOIA request is, but I will keep you informed. The next item is the board and New Paradigm, and along with, and the ISD are involved in a partnership district informal evaluation of, like an agreement, we're working on an agreement on how we can better work together and collaborate. Those meetings, we attend them, I think, once a month. And there is a litany of information as to how we can move forward successfully and prudently as we try to bring more improved educational opportunities to our students. It's all about the students. I don't have a formal report right now, but I just want to make you aware of it. I want to be a part of our minutes that we are participating in that partnership agreement. And more information on that will be forthcoming. Another item of interest is that in December, we received a request from New Paradigm to send a wire payment for payment of personnel, because that's all we've been paying is personnel. So I received a request to make that payment, and I sent back a letter to Ms. Hodge, the CFO of New Paradigm, declining that or refusing to make that payment because it had to be board approved. We did have a special meeting January 2nd. We did approve that. I asked them to send me documentation that the payments had been paid and that everyone had received them. A few of the teachers called and said, yes, they had received their payments. So that following day or 2 days later, I did wire them the amount for personnel only. But that was a one-time decision. It will not be ongoing, because according to the contract, they pay personnel and then we reimburse them for that. So that is contractually what we're supposed to do, and that's how we will continue. The reason that we made that one-time payment is because it was so close to the holiday. And we didn't want any of the staff to move forward or not have monies for the holidays, so we wanted to ensure that they received their money. So that was the reason for that decision. I also sent a letter to Superintendent Bland asking him for an update on the cap or the corrective action plan. That's what I'm shooting for, in regards to the special education findings. And I wasn't certain whether or not we were gonna meet that deadline. We were supposed to have information to MDE by January the 15th. And I hadn't received word. I hadn't seen notification that anything had gone forward with that. So I sent a letter to Superintendent Bland itemizing what should have been answered by the 15th and asked him to send a copy of that report to the board. And he did. So that was, we were on time with that information. We're moving forward with our January 27th deadline of information to them. And then we have also a June 30th deadline. And I'll be following on that and reporting back to you on movement in that area. Last but not least, let's see. These are the 3 applications that we received, and I wanted to be on record that I had given those to the board. So the board will have to review those. I will inform you at some future point when we will have interviews, if we have interviews or not, or whatever process we choose to ensure that we get a qualified superintendent for our academy. So just listen up for that information. We don't have anything for you at this time, but we will in the future. I believe that ends all of my information. Anything else from the board? Attorney, anything that you'd like to say at this time?
No.
Okay. With that being said, I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting at 6:43 p.m.
I second.
May we have a roll call, please? Yes.
Yes.
Consider yourself dismissed, and thank you for coming.
So no questions after we know what was going on in the meeting, but questions before.
I'm sorry, one other announcement. We will not have our board meeting on the regular next month on the 3rd Monday. It will be the 4th Monday because school will be not in session on the 3rd Monday. So it's the 27th. Please mark the calendars. Thank you.
Man, it's crazy how you got comments before some even get started, but you ain't get comments afterwards. Man, these people, the games they play, man, giving them more time. Who came in here to make sure they did it right? They hurry up and leave. It's, yeah, man. From them, the first time from them. Yeah, but the crazy part about it was what people don't understand is they keep putting their church members on and all the people that they message with. That's how they got on. That's why they put their education back up on. So they keep trying to make his vote don't count. So don't matter what it's. That's why they came in to make sure. Came in with these little couple bags of things. We was talking about the snacks for the kids. That's what y'all bring. This junk is so sad, man. And she keep thinking like Dr. Hunt thinking she doing something, but this all this stuff is y'all been up here. Y'all, this is what y'all second time covering now? The same stuff is like the same information that she's been covering from the past couple months. It's been the same information. They keep giving this man more time. That's what they're doing, buying him more time. And everybody says, hey, right. You know what they do here? All it is his lawyers then come to find out his lawyers in cahoots with him. It's so much junk. It's so much. This junk is so crazy. They don't care about our kids. That's all they say. This to have people think they're in good faith, but they don't care because your actions will speak loud, way louder.
So, what's going on, nephew? How you doing, man? All right, brought pretty excitement back in the day.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.